What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the kitchen. Did you know I was hiding behind that huge pile of potatoes? I'm really excited today because we're going to be working with one of my favorite foods, potatoes. They're super versatile. They're absolutely delicious, which I'm sure everybody is very aware. Today we're going to be making potatoes in 5 different ways. 5 super easy, simple, fast ways to make potatoes. Make sure you stick around until the end of this video because I know a lot of people like to put sour cream and butter on their potatoes, like a loaded potato, a baked potato, and a lot of the vegan sour creams and butters are not very good for us. If you flip those bad boys over and you read the ingredients, there's a lot of junk in there. So at the end of this video, I want to share with you one company that I have found that I will buy their butter and their sour cream. I typically make my own, which make sure you subscribe because we're going to be doing that video soon. But if you have to buy store-bought butter or store-bought sour cream, I have only come across one company that I truly believe in the ingredients that they use and that it's a healthier version of these foods. Doesn't mean that there's not more companies, but I have only come across one and I want to share it with you because I was really excited about it. Because we don't always have time to make our own. You know, we have to buy store-bought sometimes, and it's really important that companies provide us with a healthy version. So make sure you stick around for that. I'm going to share that at the end of the video. And if you're new to this channel and you want to see more super easy vegan recipes as well as other holistic tips, make sure you subscribe. I'd love to have you be a part of the community. Hit that bell button so you are alerted for all the weekly videos that get posted. And if you find this video helpful, give it a like and share it because everybody wants to learn how to cook potato 5 ways. For the first 2 versions of potatoes, we're just going to cube these up. So I just cut them in half again, and cube them up. We're going to boil them, so I'm going to do about 4 potatoes cubed. We'll go ahead and set our cubed potatoes aside. Those are going to be for our mashed potatoes and our roasted garlic rosemary potatoes. So we'll set those aside and we'll get started preparing our potatoes for our baked potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 little small ones. All sizes matter, so I'm going to use these small little guys, and I put them on parchment paper and then I just give them some good stabs with a fork. Very important, you guys. If you're interested in just one of these potatoes, I'm going to be putting the links up on the top of the screen if you want to see just the video for a specific type. I'll also post it in the description below. Now I'm just going to go ahead and pour a little bit of oil over these potatoes. If you're oilless, you can skip this. It's literally like half a teaspoon on each one, just a dot. I'm using sunflower oil, but you can use any type of oil. Give them another good couple stabs. I'm going to go ahead and wrap my baked potatoes up in parchment paper. Most people use tin foil. I don't use tin foil in my kitchen, so I use parchment paper and I just wrap it up as good as possible to keep all that heat in there. We're going to cook these at 350, but for now we're going to push them aside and get the rest of our potatoes prepared because we're doing potatoes 5 ways here. So I have a mandolin. Be very careful not to cut yourself. I use my UV glove to completely protect my hand, but I'm just going to slice these potatoes up in thin slices. You can use a knife as well, but the mandolin makes it really easy and cuts all of them nice and evenly. This is going to be for a potato casserole. Let's push these aside and get ready for our next type of potato, which is going to be a curly ribbon fry, one of my absolute favorites. So I use my little cutter here. I really need to get a new one of these. This one is not very good, gives me a lot of trouble. It's plastic. I need to get a nice stainless steel one, but for now we use what we have. And you go ahead and get the potato in here and you get cutting it. Again, all the details on everything I use will be in the description below. And this cute little mushroom thing is what is left when you use one of these. Don't ever throw this away. You can cook it in something else. We'll boil them. But see how nice, fast, and easy this is? Look at these ribbon fries. All right, now that all our beautiful potatoes are prepped and ready to rumble, let's start cooking our potatoes. And please, please remember, if you're only interested in one of these versions, I'll list in the description below as well as above throughout the video. There are videos for each specific version if you just want to watch one version, not all 5. So to start, we're going to have some boiling water. I'm going to put in the little mushroom pieces to boil, and then as well as our cubed potatoes. These are going to be for our mashed potatoes and our roasted garlic rosemary potatoes. Let this come back to a boil and boil them until they're done. We're going to go ahead and also put in our baked potatoes, and we're going to put that on 350, and we'll keep checking it for about an hour. Also, in a skillet, we're going to put a little bit of coconut oil. This is going to be our sauce or gravy, if you will, for our potato casserole. Once your oil melts, go ahead and add some onion. We're going to cook the onion until nice and translucent and a little bit of browning on the edges. And then we're going to add some chopped up garlic once these onions are nice and brown like we're waiting for. Let's go ahead and add this garlic, stir that together, and let that cook for a few minutes till you can really smell that beautiful garlic. I'm going to go ahead and add some salt and some pepper as well, and also some arrowroot powder. Go ahead and give this a good stir, mix it up real nice. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 cups of water and 1 vegan bouillon cube. You can just use 2 cups of broth if you would like, but I really recommend doing it this way for this recipe. It adds a ton of flavor. Give this a really good mix. Get all those clumps out. And then while that's heating up, we're going to check on our boiling potatoes here. Go ahead and stab them with a fork, and if they slide off and don't stick, then they're ready to go. Go ahead and drain the water out and set those aside for our next step. Keep stirring this. We're trying to get it to a boil. I pulled a whisk out because we really want to keep all the clumps out. I'm going to go ahead and add some almond milk and keep on stirring. We're going to bring this to a light simmer, and then once it starts simmering, let it cook for a few minutes, and this is actually all going to go into a high-speed blender. Make sure your high-speed blender can have very hot liquid in it. So go ahead and pour this mixture right into your high-speed blender. I'm going to go ahead and add some beautiful seasoning in here as well. And then I'm going to mix this until it's really well mixed. Be careful, this is really hot. So let's get started on our potato casserole. Oh my gosh, one of my absolute favorite things. In a casserole dish, I go ahead and put a little bit of coconut oil. You don't want to spread it all around, this way no potatoes stick to your pan. You can use whatever kind of oil you prefer, or if you're oil free, don't use any, but you may have the bottom of the potato stick, which isn't that big of a deal. So once that's done, go ahead and start your first layer. Just lay these out really nice and flat. They can overlap just a little bit, totally fine. Just get your first layer down. Salt and pepper every single layer, nice and lightly, but every layer needs to have salt and pepper. And on this layer only, I'm going to put a little bit of oil, the smallest little drizzle of oil over the top, and I mean the smallest drizzle. This is totally optional. Every layer will also get some nice Parmesan cheese. Now I make this Parmesan cheese. It is so easy. See the description below to see how. And I highly recommend doing it this way because this is actually very healthy. And if you use this amount of Parmesan in a dish and you're buying store-bought, it's not that great for you. So I highly recommend making it yourself. It's very easy, and we put it on every single layer. If you're loving all these potatoes as much as I am, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe, share this video. We're so happy you're here with us. We're just going to continue to put on another layer, and then salt and pepper, like I said, on every single layer, and Parmesan on every single layer. So one layer, salt, pepper, Parmesan, another layer, salt, pepper, Parmesan. Continue that until all of your potatoes are gone. Once you get to about your second layer though, you want to add the sauce that we made on the stove and then we put in the blender. We're going to pour that over the top every few layers. And once you finally get to your top layer, you're going to go ahead and put a nice layer of our sauce, and then with the Parmesan crumbles on top, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this with parchment paper. You can use tin foil. I don't use tin foil in my kitchen, but you could use it. I wrap it up really nicely, and then we're gonna put this in the oven on 350 for about an hour. I know parchment paper doesn't wrap as nicely as tin foil, doesn't look as pretty, but it definitely gets the job done. Make sure you don't soak this with the sauce. You don't want it swimming in it, but you definitely want everything nicely layered in a thick sauce. Okay, let's check on our baked potatoes. I pulled them out and I went ahead and stabbed them with a fork. The fork came out very easily, so these are definitely done. Comment below, let me know what your type of potato is. I like French fries. I like all potatoes, but if I was to comment below, I would totally write French fries. Comment below, let me know your favorite. Let's go ahead and get our roasted rosemary garlic potatoes going here. So in the pan with oil, we're gonna put half of our boiled potatoes. Add some salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic flakes. Bump this up to medium heat and cover it up. We're gonna go ahead and let this cook for a little bit. I'm gonna uncover it, put a little rosemary right on top there. Don't be shy with that rosemary. And then we'll leave it uncovered now. Go ahead and stir it, turn the heat up to medium, and let this cook, stirring a few times for about 10 to 15 minutes. In a pot or bowl, you're gonna add your remaining boiled potatoes. So we used half of these potatoes for our roasted rosemary potatoes. The rest we're putting in here with some milk and some nice seasoning. And I love to add some jalapeno juice. This is totally optional, but I love the flavor of jalapeno juice and it gives it a little spice, so totally up to you on this. And then we're just gonna blend this up until super nice and creamy, or if you like your mashed potatoes to be a little bit clumpy, leave it a little clumpy. Totally up to you. Always taste it. Give it a taste. Add any salt or pepper seasoning to your liking. I love it. It's delicious. Let's cook our French fries. Hit that like button if you love French fries. So I used coconut oil. I heated it up here. You can use whatever kind of oil you would like. Be very, very careful with hot oil. And we're just gonna go ahead and put in our potatoes. I put in one little piece to make sure it sizzled to test the temperature, and then I put in a whole bunch. So you don't want to crowd the pan too much, and make sure you don't overcrowd. Make sure there is room for them to move around when you mix them up. And then I have a piece of paper towel here on a little rack ready to take these out and let them sit. That way the grease soaks up on there. You want to stir them a little bit here and there so they don't all stick together too much. So I like mine pretty crispy, so I get mine pretty brown, but you can cook them however you prefer. Take them out, set them on the paper towel, and then add in another bunch, and do this until you're done with all of them. After these are done cooking, we are just about done with all of our potatoes, and we're just gonna plate them and dress them up. So stick around because the fun, exciting, delicious part is right around the corner. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Really excited to have you here, guys. Let's do this. So I put my first batch here to cool down. They're so nice and crispy. Right when they come out of the oil, I always put a little bit of salt and a little bit of garlic on the top. You can put whatever seasonings you like. Paprika is really good, onion powder, nutritional yeast, whatever you want. And there you have it, delicious crispy ribbon fries. I dip mine in ketchup and barbecue sauce because that's my life and I love it. And out of the oven we have our baked potatoes. I took them out of the parchment paper, cut them in half, and I am drizzling my cheese sauce all over it because I love my cheese sauce. I'll link above that recipe. It's super, super easy. And this is the sour cream I told you guys about. I'll share that company with you here in literally just a few seconds. I love to put that on top. I'm gonna put a little bit of that company's butter as well right here. And then of course I'm going to put some bell peppers. I really like fresh bell peppers on my baked potatoes because it a nice little crunch for freshness. And some scallions. And then I'm just going to top it off with my homemade Parmesan because it's absolutely delicious. Again, I'll put the ingredients to that below. And the company I promised to share with you guys, Forager. I absolutely love this company. They're minimal ingredients, it's clean ingredients, and they're organic. I feel like their company actually cares. You should really check this company out. I also really like their chips. Let's go ahead and dress up our naked mashed potatoes that we mixed earlier with the delicious seasoning and jalapeno. I do scallions and tomatoes, and if you know me at all, I'm going to pour my nacho cheese all over it. Absolutely love it. This is really good with my pesto sauce too. Oh my gosh, if you like pesto, I'll link that above. It's so good over potatoes. And taste your food because you deserve it. Oh my gosh, so good. And our potato casserole cooked for about an hour, and it is out of the oven. It's so creamy and delicious. These potatoes are so tender. If these potatoes look delicious to you, hit that like button, hit that share button, subscribe. Would love to have you. Oh my gosh, you guys, these are so good. Comment below, let me know which one of these ways to prepare potatoes is your favorite. These are so creamy and full of flavor. Oh, they are so delicious. And last but certainly not least are rosemary garlic roasted potatoes. Of course, I'm pouring my cheese over the top because I love it. But I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit of my Parmesan over the top as well. Now, again, you guys, remember every detail is in the description below, as well as links to the individual videos if you want to see a more detailed video of just one of these ways to cook the potatoes. If you guys are still with me, you are potato lovers like I am. Hit that like button, comment potato lover down below. You are my family. As always, thank you so much for spending time here with me today. It truly means so much to me that you're here. I cannot wait to see you next time. And the question of the day is, how do you prefer to eat your potatoes? What is your favorite way to eat potatoes? I want to know. Comment below. I'm always looking for new ways to eat potatoes. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, like, and share. And I'll see you guys next time.